bed. Boy, oh boy, time flies when you're trying to do something regular streaming. Good morning, everybody. Again, my apologies. Just had to get something set up here. I think I'm good to go, though. On the bright side, it doesn't look like there's too much going on in the immediate. Oh, maybe Perla. Alrighty. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Now, let me check to stocks we got here. Pola, BFRG. Both of them seem somewhat interesting. Yeah, everything yesterday is gapped down. Okay. Yeah, I got back from the gym this morning and I was talking with Claude about some things and I just lost track of time. So that's totally on me. It's going to be a hot one down here? Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that one, Chief. I need to unlock my thing. There we go. Yeah, we got mask up 40%. This one's also a death spiral. It's made a pretty decent move up till 6. No news that I can see. Yeah, no, I don't really see a reason why this one's up. Good morning. Yeah, I'm gonna have to call up my broker today. For some reason, I'm down like $2 in this account, even though I didn't trade in it. So I might need to ask them what that's about. I'm wondering if maybe these were the fees from shorting, and because it's the end of the month, they're getting applied. So that might be one thing that's going on. But I do want to check with them to verify why I've gone down like $2 or something. So if any of you are really observant, you will have noticed that the account balance is $2 lower. I mean, I have 3-day trades, so like it's not like I was hiding a trade, right? Like I didn't take any trades, but very strange. I don't know if anybody here knows how the margin interest rate works with Thinkorswim. Webull does it immediately, right? So if you take out, if you take a short position or any margin position, when you cover, you're charged immediately, which is nice because it lets you keep track of it in real time. But I have noticed that I wasn't charged the borrow fee when I shorted initially, right? If you saw when I short there, the profit I made was directly proportional to how much when I shorted, when I covered. So that means that it wasn't applied to all the trades on Thinkorswim. Losing money and I didn't even trade exactly. Well, I think it's just from all the trades this month. That's my suspicion. I'll call them to make sure, but that's my suspicion. Three-star N news SXTP pumped and dumped. I mean, I wouldn't even actually say it dumped. All right, it's still holding above where it was, and this isn't even that big of a pump. This could turn into something. Yeah, it's annual results. Okay. Mm. Yeah, nice move on this now. Well, I say nice move, but maybe we're just turning into another jackknife. Yeah, the volume, what was it, like 60,000 on the pump? Hmm. You're trying to be patient, but you just missed it? I mean, what did you really miss, though? Because it looks like it was another pop and drop. I wouldn't really argue you missed very much. I mean, yeah, you could have made money in the front, but you could have also FOMO'd in and lost money on the back. 2.6 million float. I see 2.4 million outstanding. It looks a bit thicker on the level 2. Yeah, okay. Tons of prospectuses. Wow, look at this. Yeah. Tons of prospectus recently. So, yeah, the shares outstanding is almost certainly higher than being reported right now. And the level 2 kind of reflects that. Looks much thicker than it actually is. Or other way around. It's much thicker than is being reported. And I suspect that the float isn't as low as you're looking. That's just my suspicion, of course. Sure, I would have been made a bag holder. Yeah. I don't know. I was looking at Ross. Like, even Ross was saying, like, yesterday was not that great. I mean, you had ELAB, but he was noticing it too. And I noticed some people were calling out that it seemed like the market was heating back up, but I'll be honest, I just genuinely don't feel that way. And I don't want to sound crazy, right? Like, when the consensus that I see people saying is that it's heating up, I don't want to, you know, seem crazy for going against consensus, but yeah, mass kind of on backside. Yeah, this looks like it might just be giving back now. I don't know, maybe XXTP does curl. It hasn't broken below this support level yet, so there's a chance still. I hate how we had twice now where you had this pop and drop. So that's certainly, this one seems even worse because we had high volume and it was a huge flush. You were red yesterday. Wet mattress. That's an analogy. That's certainly an analogy. Yeah, get ready, guys. Tomorrow for April 1st, I'm going to be coming out with a course for you guys. That's right. I'm selling out tomorrow, April 1st. Gotta look forward to it. I am becoming the guru. Yeah, this one might just be stabilizing. I mean, SOGP seems somewhat interesting. It's held up very well here. Certainly higher than where it was back here. You already pre-ordered? There you go. There you go. ARTL also up 9%. Yeah, ARTL is certainly the wild card here. Yeah, we'll have to see how it reacts. Now that dilution's off the table, this genuinely could do anything. And I would actually argue maybe, just because there's nothing else in play right now, this may be the best opportunity. And this looks horrific, right? Like, this certainly doesn't look bullish. Looks like entirely backside. But at least in terms of surprise momentum, this could do something. Don't spend all your 100K in one place. Listen, I have a money mutual fund that I'll put it in, and it's gone. It's all gone. Poof. Oh, man. Yeah, somehow today's even slower. I think this might be the slowest day. I was gonna say the slowest day of the week. It's only Tuesday. But yeah, it certainly feels like a slower day than yesterday. I had orders for SXTP if it did want to run, because I was thinking whenever it was breaking out like this, I genuinely thought it might run. Yeah, I had orders at 226 as a starter. So yeah, I mean, I was like, what? About 30 cents, 27 cents or whatever away from a starter. No, more than that. 37 cents. 30... yeah, about 40 cents, roughly. Yeah, so I was really, really far from even taking a starter on this one. I don't know about you guys, but I've been just putting on, like, relaxing music more lately. I haven't really been focusing too hard here, just... Sean Dekmar, the traitor, is crazy. I think it's you and a couple others that have asked me. I looked up, like, one video. Which one was he? Yeah. I haven't looked into him too thoroughly. I looked at him on a surface level, and the content he puts out is... it's... interesting. I don't want to say whether he is or isn't legit. He certainly clickbaits, but I don't really have anything against clickbaiting if you provide value. So I don't really mind that. Yeah, he's certainly a comedian. I do like that about the person. Yeah. I mean, even just some of the... right, even some of just these... like, look at some of these. Like, these are some interesting... yeah, I watched this video. But he's got some very interesting thumbnails. And not only thumbnails, but just like the way he talks too, right? It's very... very lighthearted at times. He reminds me, I don't know if you've ever heard of a guy named Matt Kors. He reminds me of him. Like my calmness and control better. I appreciate it. That is something I put a lot of emphasis on. I think, you know, Ross says it all the time, like cool, calm, collected. I think it is a true thing to have. Like, you don't want to be going into a lot of these stocks with a crazy mindset. All right, kids moving. I love me some kids. I'm gonna go to jail. All right. What is the news? Regains compliance. Okay. Yeah, I can't short on either of them. Gotta love it. What is the float on this? I believe it's low, right? So 1.2 million outstanding. Super, super high volume. I keep seeing big sell orders on the level 2 for like 10,000. Yeah, someone might be laddering it. We'll see. Somewhere between 257 and 265, there seems to be a very big seller. They moved the price down to 265. Or 255, sorry. Looked like there was a big seller here. Okay. Well, I mean, it got taken out, so it's certainly something. We'll see if this ends up resolving or not. But yeah, there was probably around 50 to 100,000 of selling pressure in this area from 255 to 265. Now you're getting 200 plus thousand volume per minute. So I'm not going to say that that's game over, because that's not the majority of the volume. But you certainly don't want to see big sell walls. My entry for a short would be at 307, by the way. So if this does go to 307, I would have been shorted. That way we can paper trade it if it does run. It's crazy though. So even though I was putting the orders out 3 minutes in, that was already too late. Both Thinkorswim and Webull were out of shares. Which tells me either there wasn't many shares to begin with, or because the volume's so high, people were very, very quick to put out short orders. I'm actually kind of leaning the latter. I feel like anything that's popping is just getting hammered down immediately. You're holding kids, and it did a reverse split, and you got out before it did. Well, yeah, this one's one that does statistically bad, right? Mean reversion wise, I mean, this thing just goes straight down, right? You have some instances where it pops up for a day, right? You had a pop up here, you had a pop up here, pop up here, but each one died within one day, right? Is there any period where it actually held a pop more than a day? I mean, I guess you would count this, right? Because technically this is 3 days of continuation. So you had one instance where it held a day. You have this here where you had 2 big pops. And I mean, I'm not going to say it held, but like, it was a slow bleed. So like you didn't go straight back to underwater. But generally, it seems like the stock pops up in 1 to 3 days and gives the entire thing back, generally. Sold 2 days before the reverse split. Yeah. This is holding up decently, though. You still got good volume, too. I want to look for dilution. How's the dilution look like? They certainly have it. March 5th is whenever they put out a bunch. So the shares outstanding isn't necessarily accurate here. Notably, I still wouldn't be in a trade yet, but I mean, this is it. We're within like 15 cents striking distance of what I would have taken a position. Yeah, that's the problem too with a lot of these, we'll just call them penny stocks to be respectful. A lot of these penny stocks, they do dilutions regularly, so it's hard to know what the actual free float is. You can see it say 2 million or 1 million or whatever, and it might actually be like 5 or 10 million. And the problem is if you're basing trades off of the float, and you don't know what the float is for sure, it feels like you're basing your entries off of things you can't confirm, which seems dangerous. Right, because you can get false positives and true negatives. I mean, you can look at, like, even before I looked at the float, I looked at the level 2 and I thought, that's a little bit thicker looking than normal. That doesn't look like a million. And lo and behold, when I checked, they had shelf registrations. So I can't say I'm surprised. Yeah, I mean, you could certainly still use float, right? Like, you can infer that the float's maybe like 5 million or something, or less. And you can also look at the level 2 and say, okay, it's definitely not a million. Maybe it's like 3 million. Because like my intuition, just looking at the level 2, is it's somewhere around 3 million float. That's my intuition looking at the level 2. It looks thick, but it's not crazy thick. Good morning, Tristan. We got kids running. Go chase the kids. Okay, very nice volume inflow. All right, high was 308, so I would have been short at 307 here for a starter. You made 980 off of that pop on kids. You love kids. We all love kids. We've got to be careful how we describe this, though. I'm actually kind of salty that I couldn't get my orders out because I literally would have been short at 307. Like, I would have been 1 penny from the top. This would have been a beautiful trade. Okay, AEHR moving. Let's see. Okay, $31 though. Yeah, and okay, yeah, I don't like this one for a short. No way. Well, let me humor it. I could technically short it. What is the news? Wins new major silicon photonics customer. Okay. I mean, that's good news. I wouldn't be surprised if it runs on it. I suppose I could keep an eye on it for a short, but it'd have to do a lot. Right, I would short like 1 share. Just because of the price. Yeah, alright, well, alright. I'll humor it. I'll put out orders. All right, well, I have orders for AEHR. This one's super, super high priced, so I am expecting this to run significantly before I'd want to get involved with it for multiple reasons. But yeah, this does want to run. I will be there for it. Tape stalling, then heavy after the stuff, waiting for follow through. It's interesting because it seems like there was huge selling pressure on this first area. And then whenever we pulled back here the second time, there was big selling pressure again. But the volume is very high overall. And this does look like a super bullish chart pattern. Right? You've definitely got an uptrend going here. I just don't know, though. Like, this is a stock that historically fails within 1 day. There's signs of significant selling pressure. I mean, if this does run, I expect 1 extra leg at most. So I still have my theoretical short at 307. Starting to feel the heat, though, right? It's curling back up on me. Now I would be underwater. So 331 would be my ad. We could be getting close to an ad. Like we're 10 cents, less than 10 cents away from it. Yeah, SXTP is basically stalled out. I think it's just this one, kids. Your entry on kids was trash. You got in right when it flushed the second time, but held and made some money, thank God. There you go. Hey, nice move though, up 55%. I would have been shorted. All right, 34, so I would have added. Yeah, one nice thing too, and I know I complain about no locates being available, but it is a protective measure too. If I can't find shorts, then that means that shorts are under pressure, right? And if a short squeeze is a potential play, then I don't want to be in it. Now we'll see what happens with this. Like I said, I genuinely don't think it's gonna, like, we got the second leg happening now. You could even argue maybe this is the third. Yeah, I don't think it goes much more than this. All right, so I'd be in 3/4 size here. Final ad is 352. That's for sure. I mean, but we'll see. I am curious though, because like I said, there was a lot of selling pressure that happened way down here. If these were short orders, then whoever shorted would be under tremendous pressure, because that was like over 100,000 shares that was sold by somebody down here. What would my average be? I would have shorted 8 shares at 307. I would have shorted 16 shares at 331. Average would be around 325-ish. So I would be underwater. I'd be basically break even right now. ASTC maybe making a move. This one moved yesterday, funny, right? Oh, this actually moved during the day. Interesting. Interesting. So this one did all this shenanigans pre-market, and then it actually moved during the market hours. Very interesting. Yeah, this one's suspicious. Someone's certainly doing something with it. So what did I say my final ad was? 352 is the final ad. Can't get a good read. I mean, yeah, I totally get that. part of the reason, part of my read was just based off of the fundamentals of how this company performs, right? The fact that they don't ever hold more than a day on average tells me it's most likely going to do some kind of significant retracement here. That's just my read. And I don't know, like right now it looks like I'm not like super wrong yet, right? My average is around 325. So I'm not super wrong yet. But the fact that I've had to add to the position and I'm still underwater suggests that I'm not super right. Or maybe I am super right and it's just going to immediately roll now. Yeah, I don't know. I read it as bearish. Like, I was thinking about the stocks yesterday too. Like, a lot of stocks were just popping and immediately getting flushed on high volume. I was seeing those huge sell orders here, and I'm like, okay, it's just a repeat of yesterday. It's just going to go down. And it hasn't. So I'm genuinely curious what these sell orders were. Were they short orders? Was it a form of spoofing where, I mean, they were real orders, but someone was selling big blocks to make it look weak and they were intending to buy big blocks? I don't know. It might roll. Part of me doesn't want it to because that would mean that my trade would have worked and I would be salty. So part of me wants it to go higher, right? I want the trades that I didn't get in to be losers, you know? If this one ends up being a winner, then I'm like crying in a way. But I guess it does show that the strategy worked, so I guess I should be rooting for the strategy to work. I should be rooting for this to be a profitable trade. Yeah, so average 325. I'm still not in a lot of profit here, right? I'm only about 10 cents in profit. Paper trade wise. So not super clean. AEHR still curling. Ironically, if I end up getting short AEHR, that's going to be so hilarious. Yeah, AEHR is breaking above 34. Right, if this thing ends up actually running to my entry, that's going to be crazy. It's over halfway to it. Wow, a little over 1100. Impressive. Something seriously wrong with you this month? You're not punching it? Well, this month's been difficult. I mean, it's not just this month. It feels like this entire regiment has been difficult. Right? We're like, I don't know about you guys, but like part of me questions myself right now. The lack of activity makes me really, I don't know, really sensitive to my ego, like to my sense of identity or self. Right? You want to see you engaging and you want to see you being profitable. So when you're sitting on the sidelines so much, it makes you really feel like you're doing something wrong, and it makes it really hard to accept that. Okay, so we'll see if it does break down. I'm up about, what was I, 25? So I'm up about 15 cents. I'm still not in a lot of profit. The cushion isn't that big yet. This could very easily swing me back into red. Okay. Could be basing here. This was resistance here, so maybe this acts as support? I mean, it's already acted at least in some type of support, right? You did bounce on this first attempt here. You're testing the support again with a second pressure. And see that? Back to break even. Up 9.5 R. It's hot. Alright, I'm gonna cancel my SXTP order. Alright, this one's doing nothing. It's basically given back most of the move at this point. I don't see any reason to keep my orders out. I'll keep the orders for AEHR out. Because that one, I mean, that one's halfway to my target. So I'll keep those orders out. Good morning, Skivon. Yeah, I'd be getting worried, though. If I was short, I'd be getting worried, right? Basically break even. I've been in the trade for probably... What would it have been? I'd be in the trade for about 13 minutes now, and I'd still only be break even. So I would start to be getting worried as a short seller here. Almost crashed your computer because you realized you had your fan speed to limited to the minimum, and it was going boiling hot. Oh, man. Man, you're just like, what the heck's going on? Like, everything's breaking. Yeah, that would terrify me. My computer costs like... I mean, it was over $5,000 for it because of the GPU and whatnot. That would give me a mini heart attack. I put a lot of money in this computer, man. Yeah, but I'm losing conviction this is going to roll over now. It's holding up nicely. Anyone short is probably getting scared for the next leg. I'm not saying it's going to make a new leg. I'm bearish that by the end of the day, it's going to give back like 80% of this entire move by the end of the day. Like, that's kind of my intuition. Because this news catalyst, while it's okay, it's nothing crazy. Yeah, no, I should be more bearish. I should be more bearish. I have a 1590 RTX. It was the best model I could buy at the time. Actually, I bought it right before the rate increases too, so I got it at a discount. I bought mine. So I did get it refurbished initially because it was half price, but the refurbished one ended up dying on me, so I just went with a new one. And the new one costs like 4,000 or 5,000 for the refurbished GPU. It's super, super powerful though. No, I mean, I'm loving it. Like, I'm using it for coding, and I've hit no bottlenecks yet with the coding. I got a very, very high quality CPU as well. I can't remember what I got, but it was one of the higher quality ones I could buy. I forget which type though, or like what it was, what its specs were. It's been like 5 months since I got it now. LTRN, lower volume but high day. Ooh, let's take a look. I see. Oh, this was the one that dumped super hard. Yeah, look at this. This one dumped super, super hard and then just kind of stayed around here. You had earnings yesterday, and then it dumped like another 50%, and now it's fully recovered, and now you're green on it. Historically, this chart's been bleeding, but maybe it's oversold just because of this huge drop-off. Was there like a offering or something here? Interesting that you had volatility in action before the distribution. Yeah, and they reported a 36-cent loss when a 46-cent loss was predicted or priced in. That could create some momentum. I don't think it goes back up to these previous levels, though. Probably looking for around 2 or something. This one might not even be shortable just because it was under a lot of pressure recently. But I will check. Well, no, I'm able to put out orders for it. I'll go ahead and price in. Okay. Got my orders out. If it wants to run, so be it. I mean, it is getting volume now. Just to go back to kids for a moment. I think I'm at the border where, let's see. Yeah, I would be at the point where I would be cutting the trade here. I would be cutting it for like a 6-cent win on 24 shares. Right, so this would be like a $1.20. This would be like a $1.44 winner. It'd be a relatively small winner compared to the risk and reward, but it'd be a small winner. Problem is this is stalling too long here. It's kind of basing out, like it could make another leg, so I don't want to be a part of that. I genuinely think fundamentally this stock will roll over within the day, and I think it's going to give back 80% of the move in one day. But at least for where it's currently positioned, it could make another leg, and this is looking like structurally that potential is too high for me to want to be engaged with it. So this will be a small winner. You're getting consistent volume here. 20,000 a minute. Notably, I guess it's worth keeping in mind that a lot of this run-up was on pretty low volume, right? You went from 90 cents to $1.30 with a couple 10,000 spurts here and there. So you didn't really have a lot of volume with it. ELAB running. Wow, okay. Let's see what we got. So they did have news at 7:30. It's just now getting traction, though. Signs long-term agreement to supply Mission Central aerospace and defensive components to turbojet products. That sounds strong. Sounds really strong. Let's see. All right, it's a micro float, so I'm going to size appropriately. All right, well, we'll see what we get here. I'm postured for this trade. Kids locates are really expensive on Cobra. LAB is expensive too. Yeah, right. That's what I was saying. Yes, I called it out earlier. I guess you weren't here for it, but I said it earlier this morning. I was surprised how it ended up running. I tell you, like, it was just the way it was acting was not natural. And the thing is, though, it's like you can't just buy on things that aren't natural looking, because it could also be an attempt to garner retail attention so you can dump on them. But it certainly was interesting and suspicious. So we got 3 different orders out. All 3 of them are about halfway to my entry. So nothing's really close to getting in yet. But we'll see if either of these get some traction. All right, ELAB is half size for me if this one does fill. The super low float creates volatility risk, so I'm downsizing because of that. Yeah, but maybe just rugs here now. You've had a couple topping tails. We'll see. What broker do I use for shorting? I'm using 2. So I'm using Thinkorswim and Webull. They're both commission free. So I'm trying to create a system. This is a newish system that I've come up with. And I'm trying to find something and work within the bounds of free brokers to try and maximize the potential of it. IMCC moving, but it's a penny stock. I'm not really going to focus on it. I'm going to stay focused on the 3 that I'm watching. ASTC listed as a sub 2 million share ticker. Today, Kids is the sub 2 million ticker up the most. Kids is definitely not sub 2 million. They have a lot of shelf registrations, and also just looking at the level 2, it's definitely not sub 2 million. Too many shares on the level 2. Like, there were instances where I was seeing 50,000 on each side. So yeah, there was definitely some kind of dilution that happened with that one. I wish I could trade more like an a-hole, because my precision is pretty good, so I think I would make a whole lot more money. I could scale in super aggressive. I mean, and something you could try too, like just to try it, right? If you really want to think that way, is just make a $100 account as a YOLO account and just go for it, you know? Like, that could be something to try. And like, that could even be something that I could try. Like, if Like, I've been posturing for 2 bucket scenarios, a cold and hot market. This market seems to be colder than my cold market backtesting predicted. So I'm just missing out on a lot of trades. And the reality is maybe I just need to be more aggressive, right? So like right now the plan is if I continue to have no engagement in this cold market, the plan is to aggressively trade and aggressively short, but do it with even smaller size, right? So for example, right now I'm on 8 share size, so 8, 16, 8. The earlier shorts would be like 4 shares, 2 shares, like even less. So that's kind of the posture I'm starting to take. Got out for a small loss on ELAB about 200. Man, small for you is 200, man. That's something. You proactively manage positions the moment you enter. I mean, I'm not going to say there's anything good or bad about that, right? My strategy, this one I'm doing, is very, very low proactive. All right, it's mostly mechanical. But my old strategy was proactive, right? It was almost entirely... All right, there were exit criteria, of course, but there was a lot of intuition and proactiveness to it, right? If I saw a huge seller in the level 2, I would jump out. So I totally respect it, and I think in some instances it's the right approach. VRAC's moving pretty hard, but it's a penny stock, so I don't really know if I want to engage with that. Yeah, no, it's way too cheap. LTRN just kind of died. Like, why is it just going flat on no volume at the highs? It's so weird. Man, I almost don't even want to short this one. If you're just gonna like squeeze up and then just go sideways, seems so suspicious to me. BATL looks like it's dropping. Yeah, BATL's been kind of selling off. Yeah, it's so weird too. LTRN makes like 100% move and then just has no volume and just goes sideways. Very, very suspicious. Not natural at all. Man, I can't believe it's already 8 o'clock. We didn't really have any news at 7:30. Huh. And I don't really see anything for the 8 o'clock news. I guess we had VRACs, right? I guess that's true. That's fair. No, this was the 7:30 news. Okay. No, yeah, that's fair, right? Like even if it's heavily diluted and there's a huge holder that wants to dump, you're only assuming that the float is as high as it is because they're going to dump, right? If they are like, hey, we're going to run this stock up to $3 before we dump it, then technically that 2 million shares of dilution isn't there, right? Because they haven't decided to dump it yet. So I totally get that. Like, so like with kids, for example, even though the shares outstanding and the float is probably way higher than reported, if they're not dumping yet, then it's totally logical why it's holding up. Right, there were some big looking sellers around here, around maybe 50 to 100,000, but the volume was high and it got bought up. So for whatever reason, they just haven't sold yet. What did I cover on kids? I think it was like 318 or something. Something like that, 318 or so. I mean, I'd be basically still break even, so exposure risk. Yeah. Yeah, kids was always going to be just a small winner. It wasn't ever going to be anything. The real question is to know when the Chinese are behind the manipulation to pump up ticker up before it dumps. When they do it, the ticker runs 1,500% before they dump on you. Yeah. I can respect how greedy the Chinese can be. Well, it's not even really just, it's not Chinese people, right? It's just they're in a regime where they're not very strict on the criteria for stocks, right? It has nothing to do with them, because there's plenty of other countries that also do these kind of malicious, corrupt things, but it's really about the governments from where they're doing it from. If the government doesn't really go after them, then it enables them, right? And it's very clear that China doesn't go after them, which is why it's very prevalent in China, right? There's a lot of other countries where it's also prevalent. I think Malaysia's one, right? For example, like if you saw a US company that dumped 99% in one day, what do you think would happen? Do you think that they wouldn't be investigated by the SEC? Right? And if they're a US-based company, they're screwed, right? They're going to be investigated. They're going to be prohibited from leaving. See, I mean, I always joke about the Chinese, but like it's nothing to do with the Chinese people, right? It's all about the structure that they are able to launch these tickers on, that enables them to do this kind of behavior. BNRG kind of moving. Again, it's a penny stock though. Are the same small group of people behind the big Chinese moves. We can see the tea leaves before they form. Maybe we can catch the next one. It's difficult. I'm not very informed in this, so I can't say for certain. What I can say is that the underwriters have a strong connection with some of these. So, for example, a lot of these pump and dumps you'll see, or a lot of these dilution rug pools you'll see, have the same underwriters that are selling to these groups. These people are very, very well known. It's very well documented. So as far as the underwriters or the market makers, those participants they always seem to be in these rug pool setups. Now, as far as if you can identify which actual groups of individuals are doing it, that's a lot more difficult, and I don't have any knowledge about that. Not to say it doesn't exist, I just haven't looked it up. Like, I haven't really dug and done a deep investigation into it. I would be curious to know if there is such information out there. Because you could almost build like kind of a filter where it's like, warning, this stock that's pumping is a suspicious group. And then you could even go meta and say, well, this suspicious group will pump a stock 500% before it dumps on average. Since it's only up 200%, it's safe to get in here. Like, you know, I mean, you could do some crazy stuff like that. And there might be even some legitimacy to it. Yeah, but I genuinely don't know. H.C. Wainwright. I don't know the names. I wouldn't be able to tell you off the top of my head. BNRG looks like a pop and drop. Dilution Tracker has a scanner for it? I don't know. I haven't used them. ELAB is surprisingly curling back up. I was kind of ready to say that this one's out of play for me, but the fact that it's curling back up, I mean, maybe it ends up going to me. You got a 23,000 share sell order at 420. Pretty big. Yeah, okay. It's actually like 50,000. Yeah, 50,000 share sell order at 420. That's a lot. Like, relative to the volume, you'd need a huge spurt of volume to break that. Well, let's see. It's very, very close to 420. It says 421. Like why would it say 421? I guess like someone sneaked past it. Wait, did they take it out? I mean, there's 200,000 volume. Did they take it out and I just didn't see? I don't see the order there anymore. Yeah, I don't see it there anymore. Maybe they took it out. Okay, I might have just missed it. There was a 50,000 share sell order at 420, but I don't see it now. And there was a big volume surge there. Maybe I missed it. You're back in on ELAB. Good luck, sir. I wish I could share level 2 just so I could ask you guys, like, hey guys, can you rewind it real quick and check to see if there was actually a big sell order that got filled at 420? Yeah, IPUs used to be really hot, right? You would have crazy, crazy runs from them. But now, it feels like lately, just no one cares. I've seen stocks IPO and just go sideways. Now, there have been some that have still done crazy moves. I'm not saying that that doesn't happen. But I've seen a lot that just IPO, they go sideways, or they just completely rug pull. I remember like 5 years ago, there was this Chinese stock, JZ, where it was supposed to IPO at $4 and it IPO'd at like 180 or something. And a lot of brokers weren't able to locate shares to give to initial investors, because like you could reserve, like the IPO price was $4 and you could reserve shares at $4, but the brokers ended up having a problem and they said, we'll let you reserve up to like 3 shares if you want it. That's all you can reserve. And people were outraged. And then when they saw it went to 180 when it launched, it didn't go to 180, sorry, it opened at like 180. It made people really mad. So there's a lot of interesting aspects to it for sure. Yeah, there's been a lack of inflow, certainly. The average volume is definitely lower than normal. I don't know. I feel like we're kind of at a transition between super cold. So the market was super cold. I feel like we're in a transition between super cold and cold. Like we've had a lot of instances where we had like a cold or maybe a warm day. And we'll have like the occasional ticker that does a really hot performance like ARTL. So I'm not saying it's just blanket cold across the board. I mean, this thing's really struggling to get above 420. Okay, you made back the 200 you lost earlier. Maybe this is the top. It's crazy too. ELAB is only up 11%. Like, even though this looks like an impressive run, percentage-wise, it's only 11%. Like, there's... like, it's nowhere... It still needs to run like an entire 15% for me to really even be interested in it. Still, the fact that I called out there was a seller at 420, and that seems to have been a legitimate seller. Very interesting. And I noted that I didn't actually see the seller get filled. Even though a lot of volume went through, I didn't actually see their orders get taken out on the level 2. Wish you could go back to trading 500 or 1,000 shares. Go back? What do you mean? What do you trade now? Like 3,000? Or oh, you only trade a few hundred shares on the team. Yeah, I didn't read the second half. Yeah, it's difficult. You're scared to short sell pre-market. I mean, if anything, I'm actually more scared to short during the market open. I don't know about you. I think pre-market's safer, honestly. Just based off of my research. Right, you got the NPTs and the other big spikes that can happen. But there are filters to avoid those. Whereas if you get caught in a halt down, like, you have no control over where it's going to move. Yep, there she goes. There she goes, Timber. FUSC. This one could be doing something. Does have news. Okay. Okay. We just gotta be patient with it. Yeah, ELAB looks like it's just done. I mean, we'll see. Like it hasn't fully retraced, but it's pretty high volume on the sell. It looks like backside. Yeah, one of the things too is when the market's hotter, it's easier to get bailed out to the long side, right? A lot of times, if you get a poor entry or a rug pull happens, you can afford to hold through those periods because the odds that you'll get bailed out are higher. At least that's what I've experienced. So, yeah, I agree with you there. Like, reducing trade frequency makes sense, and same with share size. Yeah, Fuse kind of just rolled over immediately. You buy a $1 stock, it's up 10 cents, you think it's got room, and then it just immediately gives it all back. You base it after base it. I mean, that's, yeah. You can you could build a strategy around home runs, but when the market's giving you so little opportunities, you can't really. Do I ever trade intraday? I do, and that's where I get most of my, like, I'm not really making any money with what I'm doing right now. This is mostly an experiment. I mean, it was going great initially, right? The first, we'll just say 2 weeks, like, I've taken 10 trades with this new strategy. I've been right 9 out of the 10 times. So the accuracy is amazing, right? Accuracy is great. Risk to reward is 1-to-1 right now. Metrics are amazing, phenomenal. But if I can't get enough frequency because the market's too cold, then it creates problems, right? I mean, it doesn't matter how good your strategy is. If you can only take one trade every week or something, then At what point does frequency become important enough to where the strategy, even if it's great on paper, can't be done in practice? How would you build a strategy that's focused on catching the 5x, 10x winners? I mean, I'll be honest. I would say Ross's pillars are probably the best framework for that, right? Because the ones that are going to do the 5, 10x moves are directly what Ross's pillars look for. So, I mean, for all intents, Ross's methodology for finding the best opportunities is correct. I do agree with him there. Wait, what is the new strat you're using? Oh, it's this shorting strat. It's, I mean, we're on what, day 30? What day is it on now? I can't. Day 29. Yeah, so we're on day 29 of it now. So in 29 days, I've taken 10 trades. So we're on roughly 1 trade every 3 days. A little more than 1 trade every 3 days. So, and that kind of shows it too, right? I've taken 2 trades in the last 2 weeks, and I'm averaging 1 trade every 3 days. So it just really shows that the first half, when I was starting this, I was taking a trade like every other day on average, and now I'm taking 1 trade like every week on average. And that's just, it's problematic. But yeah, it's anyway, for the actual strategy, it's a short reversion strategy. So I'm looking for certain stocks to be popping up, and I'm mean reverting them. There is a lot of filters that go into it, though, right? I don't just short anything that's popping up. Yeah, but it's like yesterday I attempted, or I placed orders for 7 different stocks to short yesterday. None hit my criteria. Today I've done 8, and still, at least so far, none have hit my criteria. So it's really just showing, like, I don't think I'm executing the strategy wrong. I just think the strategy is underperforming for this market. And a big part of what we're really testing here is how bad is it, right? If in a cold market I'm taking 1 trade every 2 days, and in a super cold market like we're in right now, where most stocks don't even pop up 30%, if in this kind of a market I'm taking a trade every 1 week or so, the question is, how often does that happen? Is that acceptable? And that's really what I'm trying to kind of flesh out with what I'm doing here today and what I've been doing the last few days, is I'm trying to identify how bad it is. And if it's really bad, then at that point, the strategy needs some kind of intervention. Would you accept 70% accuracy if it meant you trade twice as often? Yeah, and that's exactly right. That's exactly what I will need to be testing, right? Because of course, if I'm shorting earlier, then I'm going to lose more, right? That's very natural. And that's the question, right? You need to get your profit factor, right? The combination of accuracy, risk, reward. If in these colder regiments where stocks aren't even popping 30% and they're failing, if I could get in at maybe 20% short, 15% short, and just do smaller size, like that could be something worth doing, right? Because I'm sitting with these day trades, I'm not using them, I'm not doing anything productive. I mean, I'm collecting data, so to say I'm not being productive right now, I don't think that's entirely true. But yeah, that's exactly what I would be doing. So RSD music, my plan really is, and maybe I'm being too extreme with it, But me and Claude, we agreed that for 3 weeks, I was going to see what the accuracy was like in the super cold market, or not accuracy, what the frequency is like in the super cold market. If it continues beyond, because if it continues for a long enough period, the plan is that intervention must happen, right? I built my system expecting a certain cold market that I back tested, but that back testing data may not have been accurate to the coldest markets. And that's what it's kind of looking like. But what Claude made is a good point, and I think it's really true, is that we tend to rely too much on intuition sometimes, and we don't give enough validation from data. And I really want to make sure I'm not jumping the gun, because, again, just to reiterate, my backtesting showed that in a cold market, I would be trading once every 2 to 3 days. If we average every single day, including all of these days I haven't traded recently, the average is actually about 1 every 3 days. So I'm actually within the bands of what is predicted from the backtesting right now. It's just that I was trading a little more frequently 2 weeks ago, and these last 2 weeks have been much drier. So realistically, I need more data to know for sure which of the two it is. Regardless, though, I do agree that it may be worth implementing extra legs or trying to flesh out my model more than just, is it a cold or hot market, right? There's probably a spectrum to it. The LBT dropped to 59 cents. It's already at 79. Okay. It's quite the range, huh? 59 to 79. Huge volume. It's like lately we've been just getting these where they just pop up and immediately roll over. Let me cancel my orders for this one. LTRN finally making a breakdown. So it just kind of popped up, went sideways here for like half an hour, and now it dropped a bit. Yeah, kids moving again. Oh, very nice. Okay, so yeah, my cutting the trade signal was very helpful here. Turned what was a small winner into what would have been maybe a max loss, or NUWE. All right, this one has been one that's moved in the past. All right. Achieves approximately 50% total US revenue. It seems kind of like a mid catalyst, not gonna lie. SST. SST also moving pretty well. This is one that broke out yesterday. No, 2 days ago. And now it's curling back. Yeah. I'm gonna cancel my LRT and orders. Wow. So 410 straight to 370. Huge volume. Hmm. ALBT rip. Oh, did it die? Ooh, yeah, it's a full retracement. Yes, sir. Yeah, NUWE looks like just kind of an earnings call. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a Ross candle. Yeah, SST to the depths. As Relentless would say, to the depths. ALBT knifed also. Well, that one wasn't as bad, right? Yeah, yeah, this one's kind of bad. Hmm. NUW is still holding up. So maybe this turns into something. You're getting consistent volume inflow here. This could turn into something. Nice break there. Not huge volume, though. Maybe a spike to get attention, and now we're just going to rug back down. Is that the game plan? I want to see how much volume we end up getting, because we've been getting consistent volume this whole time. That's one of the reasons why I'm really watching this one. I want to see if we end up flushing back down or if this actually holds with the continued volume inflow. I don't like to see this pop and then sudden drop. This pop was also on super low volume. Looks kind of liquidity grabby, but we'll see. BOIL, Boyle, kind of grinding higher. No news on this. Yeah, 15. This one historically has been kind of all over the place. This is pro shares though. Okay, so this is like, I guess, is oil just like moving a lot or something? Check US oil. No, it's pretty stable. Boyle continuing its grind, 570 to 1640. NUWE very well consolidated. Not a lot of activity. Well, 45, so the morning, at least, has quickly evaporated, it feels. It's still holding at its extra leg. I still think that this thing ultimately rolls over within the day. That's my prediction. You see a very big retracement throughout the day. The fact that it's holding near the highs is surprising to me, though. I genuinely didn't expect this. Continuing to boil up. Not very high volume. Yeah, a lot of these gaps, though. Even a gap to 1650. Really not that big of a move. Yeah. This stock has made moves like this pre-market consistently. Doesn't really seem like there's anything there. ANNX, though. Very interesting price action. Way up here. I mean, you got a bid at 569. There's there's no volume to this. $149 million shares? What is this? I mean, okay, you had earnings, but do earnings really justify this much of a move on no volume? You're only getting a couple thousand shares of volume. This is well respected here. Very strange. Got around to see you tomorrow. Yeah, you have a good one, man. Thanks for stopping by. Man, it's just like dead. Like there's so little volume coming in on this move. Yeah. AHR is basically stalled out. I'm gonna get rid of my orders for this one. I think ELAB can go too. Well, I mean, it has kind of curled back. I suppose I can keep it out a little longer since it has curled back. And NUWE continuing its grind down. Just not impressive volume. It is consistent volume though, but just not impressive enough. HWH getting a little bit of volume here. No news, but this could just be a recovery attempt from this. And it pops up and then immediately rolls. And what a scummy rug day. Oh man. 120 straight down to 90. Disgusting. Yeah, there's no opportunity. Like I don't even feel like I'm doing anything wrong. I'm just not getting into some of these sketchy moves. Yeah. Yeah, looking more like today is going to be another data point that suggests I'm being too conservative. Yeah, if I don't even take any trades this week, I might just accelerate it and say it's time to adapt. Like because last week I didn't take a trade. If I'm going 2 whole weeks without a trade, at that point, I think that's too much. No, yeah, I placed an order. I had an order to short, what was it? I put an order to short at 143, so if we wanted to get moving. But literally by the time I had placed the order, the stock had already rugged. So, like... what can you do? Yeah, I would want to get an AN and X because this one seems detached from reality. Right, you've gone this high up on super low volume. Right, the volume's low. But I'm hesitant to commit to that because when you get super light volume like this is where the sudden big moves can happen. Now, I don't think that's super likely because you got 149 million shares on this company, but I don't know. I'm wary. I'm certainly wary. All right, 5 minutes till the top of the hour. Yeah, I don't know. We are in a very cold market, so your strategy won't work. Be the only one not giving many, opportunities. Maybe create a new similar play just for super cold markets where you can put some trades together. That's kind of, yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. That's kind of the premise I'm thinking, right? Because there's nothing even getting close. Like we've had a couple close ones. Kids would have fired, but the shares outstanding was genuinely low, and I couldn't get a short position on either broker. And I did it in the first 3 minutes. Like it was on this candle that I tried placing the order on both brokers, and I could not get an order for either broker. So yeah, this would have been a trade. It would have been a small winner, but yeah, there's nothing that's really coming close consistently in this market. I mean, LGO, no news. Funny, I have these lines, but these were made pre-split, so these lines don't even mean anything. You see pop up on 4,000 volume, no news, immediately rolls over. Sounds about right. ALBT, you paying me? What did it do? Yeah. Seems like you can get handcuffed by finding locates on tickers you want to get into short. I would get so frustrated by that. It's a double-edged sword, right? And this is what I've been saying. So, like, kids would have been a small winner. My strategy would have protected me because I would have entered here. I would have added here. I would have taken profit around here. I would have made like 6 cents a share, so slightly above break even, and I would have made a little over $1. But the reality was is this was a genuinely strong stock, and the fact there were no locates actually protected me in this case, right? My risk was quite high. This had the potential to turn into a loser. So in some ways, not there being low locates is in some ways helpful. It keeps me out of the short squeeze candidates. So I'm not inherently saying that it is, I'm saying that there is some benefits to actually not being able to short something. Now, whether that's pure speculation and I'm overthinking it, I have no evidence to back that up. I'm just thinking like, you know, speculating. But it is frustrating. I think it's more frustrating in this market because this was one of the trades I would have taken and I was kept out of it. If I was taking a trade every day, then I wouldn't really feel that much annoyance from it, I think. At least on the long side, you can buy it up. Well, until it's liquidation only on Webull. Right. I'm going to cancel my ALIB orders. So I currently have no orders out. We'll see if we get anything at the top of the hour. People are fuming about Webull. Yeah, exactly. Do I use Webull? I use Lightspeed and Thinkorswim. So Lightspeed and Thinkorswim was my old combo for my old strategy. Well, it was one I tried out at least. But yeah, I'm currently using Webull and Thinkorswim. Right, I actually have 2 different setups. This, like, I'm using the green. This is the Thinkorswim setup. I actually have a setup for Webull as well. that I can kind of jump between. So for example, if I would have ended up not getting a fail in Thinkorswim, but I did in Weeble, I could actually flip the display to show the Weeble layout instead. Say YAB. Nice little pop. Secures major Fortune 500 brand agreement. Consumer brand agreement. Man, I can't talk. It pops up, immediately gives back most of it. ARTL popping. And no news. We are getting some volume though. It's a good move. That's like a dollar move. PAVS. Yeah, PAVS popping up here. Ooh, huge. Bad price action though in the past. Super low float allegedly. Yeah, this one has huge potential though. Like this one has huge drop-offs and runs up. This one went from 3 to 5. $220 dip might end up being the trade of the day if it gets attention here. Maybe. Volume doesn't seem too crazy on it. But this is very oversold, at least from the last 2 days. PBS could do something. I'm not going to engage with this one. The volatility is too high on it. The odds of this doing some crazy squeeze to like $5 or something is too high for me. RTL possibly breaking out. Volume's still not crazy high on this one either. I'll stay a little longer for ARTL, since that's one I do have orders out for. Can't trade Pabs on Weeble, reverse coming. I should check it here. Yeah, it's not even available to trade on Weeble. You're right. Don't even have the option. Reverse already happened. I mean, the reverse split makes sense. Like, I'm seeing only 300,000 shares outstanding, and this thing looks hyper sensitive, right? Like, it's ranging super high. Like you're going from 210 to 290 in 2 minutes. On light volume, too. CYAB basically stalled out. It's up a little bit, but it's basically stalled. NPT, the classic. Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously not touching this one, but yeah, this one could do something interesting, certainly. I'm gonna call them up. So I've been gathering a list of stocks that are untradeable, and I want to see if I can get answers. Whether it's disableable or just why they're doing it. I suspect it's market makers preparing and not wanting to be exposed to the small caps. That's my speculation. Because I think market makers take on more risk when they have to allow day traders to work with these kind of stocks. That's just my speculation, though. Was there any news on NPT, or did they just like randomly pop up? It just randomly popped up. Okay. Okay, that sounds about right. Yeah, kind of the same for this move, too. This one's just kind of moving. No real rhyme or reason. NPT continuing to run here. So strange, too. I mean, look at this volume. Pre-market. Someone was clearly preparing for this. All right, well, I'm probably going to call it here. There's nothing in position. I'm not going to mess with NPT either. This one's just way too dangerous to mess around with. But yeah, I'm going to count this up for the next no trade day. Another data point on the graph. I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully we get something going. But yeah, I'm going to end it here. You guys have a good rest of your day. I'll be back tomorrow. Take care, everybody.